Alright, I'm not. I was actually alright until very recently, but there's been a scare with my microphone. It just wouldn't appear as a source at all and was just generally really worrying. I've eventually found out it's because it didn't seem to exist within the USB port it was in, but then that just shifts my worry from my microphone to my computer. And as I don't like technology and like spending money even less, the prospect of broken technology has put me out of what would have been a great recording mood. So for that, I apologise, but let's try our best to push on. This here before us is another survey from Ponos as part of the 5th anniversary celebrations. Now, I love a filling in a survey for this sort of thing. It's good to chip in. It's good for them, for everyone to chip in, so they know at least en masse what people are thinking. So let's give it a go. Hopefully, we'll get the cat food this time because we're on the device that we use for our gaming adventures. Right, what languages do you speak? So, your boy. At least, I hope you'll agree. And you know what? We've been working on it in streams and stuff, and I'm sure I'd make enough people happy by saying I would like to dedicate myself by trying to become at least semi-fluent in German. Guten Tag. Which region best describes where you live? That'd be the UK. We know it, we love it, and you know it, you love it. My answer here, we like to say time limit on Twitter. I have imposed this because I spend too long on Twitter. I like to say my gender is other or agender if I can specify it particularly, because gender is a social construct about identity. I am fine with my sex being male. I'm not cisgender. The concept of gender doesn't work for me. I don't need an identity beyond my sex. Some people do. I do not. That is why we are other here. How old are you? Well, it was recently said that it was my birthday, which is very kind of people to wish me such. I fall within this age range. Apologies for being a young'un. What best describes your field of work study? I am about to embark on being a university student, technically self-employed. Get a real job. What platforms do you most often use to play games? Well, that would be this, an iOS smartphone or tablet. How long have you been playing Battle Cats? I get the one with an exclamation mark. I estimated it was roughly 5 years of playing it, and then I hear about the 5-year anniversary. So I think, genuinely, I probably started playing it a couple of months after it originally first came out. What sections have you completely cleared? This is where they're gonna wonder. Well, okay, so he says all of this about him being playing since the beginning and he hasn't actually completed stuff. Right, we've done all except Cats and Cosmos 3 and the Uncanny Legends, which we are taking our time with. How often do you play the Battle Cats? Factoring in streams, probably almost every day. Not a huge amount, but most of it is spent, as you'll see, on the recording sessions. Have you ever stopped playing Battle Cats for longer than 1 month? I feel like that's probably a no. I don't think it's ever been a month. Even with like A-levels, there would have been streams that branched either side of not being a month between them. So I don't think so. I think we've been pretty consistent these years, which is quite terrifying to think. How much time do you spend playing Battle Cats in a typical session? Right, so thinking about stream or recording, I'm going to say the upper end of 30 to 60 minutes. Do you often use cat food to restore your cat energy? Actually, that's quite a pertinent question. Very recently in a stream, I had spent 3 items, and instead of sacrificing the items, as many people would have thought when I lost with 11% HP left on it, I went for using the cat food because I'm so stingy with my items. I'd rather spend cat food? So let's go for it. Beginner guide as well. There should be no shame in it. If you tried your best, you're in the best possible position and there's nothing more you could have done. 30 cat food. Fine to spend. Absolutely at home. I don't like going outside. It makes me feel very anxious and worried, and I like the comfort of solitary home. What times of the day do you most often play Battle Cats? Probably early afternoon for recordings if I can get into gear, and late evening for streams. Have you ever bought extra in-app content in a mobile game that is not the Battle Cats? Once or twice, and I think actually, fun fact, that is a kind of mild trauma that put me into being so stingy and savvy with my money now. I spent, I think, about £15 on Bike Race to no use whatsoever. server, and I think realised at that point that I should be a bit more careful with my money. Have you ever bought cat food, rare tickets, platinum tickets, or other in-app items? Yes, it's got to be once or twice. I haven't bought cat food, to be fair. I've only bought platinum tickets. Okay, moving on. How much money have you spent total? US dollars. Well, we know the situation with currencies. How many platinum tickets have I done? I got a White Rabbit on one, I got a Shadow Gao on one, and I got Mitama on one, so that is 3. £8 a time, maybe? So, I mean, it will definitely fit within that. They're quite a wide range, so it will be between 10 and 50. How did you first learn about Battle Cats? That was friends' recommendation, my form class at my secondary school. People started playing it, and I carried on playing it for quite a lot longer than any of them. Which of the following sites do you regularly use or visit? Yes, Twitter, we were discussing that too much. I have a Discord server of which I am an awful dictator. Not Twitch anymore, because their support is absolutely dire and they actively refuse to help me when their onboarding for affiliate broke. And of course, YouTube, where we are now. Apologies if you can hear my computer being in a huff and a puff. There's actually nothing I can do about it at the moment because the piece of kitchen roll I would usually deflect it with has a banana on it. So eat healthy, kids. This is the content I subscribe for. Inane comments about USBs and bananas. What made you most interested in playing the Battle Cats? Choose up to 3. Now I was reading through these as I was eating my banana and it interests me to see recommendation from YouTuber on there. This seems to be a little bit of a litmus test to work out whether Ponos is paying of big YouTubers to play Battle Cats is actually having a positive impact on playership. So apart from that not being true for me, I'm definitely not going to select that one. I would prefer to see the sponsorship be more spread out among the more dedicated Battle Cats players. But I mean, to be fair, it's not all bad out of paying people to play it. We got a long and enjoyable series from old Matt Shea. But I think if financially the support was more equitable, I think that might be nicer in a community sense. In any case, it was probably funny or cool characters, more in the sense of weird. Don't think I heard the music straight off, but did enjoy it. That was after I decided to play it. Original worldview is something I like to think I have to offer you, not necessarily a philosophical slant of the game itself. Exciting gameplay, I'm not so sure. Easy to play sounds about right. And it was popular with friends at that time, and to be fair, that was the point where if everyone else was playing it, I played it too. We had that Geometry Dash, Clash of Clans, Bike Race before, Subway Surf, all of these old names, you know. What character made you want to play the game? In truth, actually, none of them. It just looked like a fun game. There were no specifics to it. What do you think of the difficulty of the Battle Cats? Hey, yeah. Just enough challenge, actually. I'm going to accept that. It is a well-gauged game in difficulty terms. Let's not make the perfect the enemy of the good here. We've got a very well-structured game in terms of difficulty, and there are things like Cuphead out in the world, so how happy are you with the following elements? Challenge/strategy. You know what? Very happy. Perfectly happy with that. Battle system. Well, I got recommendations for how it could be improved, so it can only be a somewhat happy. Game interface/menus. I'm sorry, they are actually mostly really good, and this will sound crueler than it actually is, but I'm putting a little unhappy from the point of view of I feel like I've brought up some good ideas for improvements, such as the minimising of levels in the event stages you've finished, so you don't have to just scroll past them meaninglessly, and these things aren't implemented. So perhaps a little selfish, but I definitely feel like there is room for improvement, hence why I have recommended what I think could improve them. I would choose the middle one, but I do have a feeling about it, so that wouldn't be true either. Character design. Some of them are still a bit low def. I'm going to have to go with somewhat happy with that one, otherwise very good. Events and collaborations, they can be hit and miss. Evangelion was lovely. Other ones not very well fleshed out, especially like the last collab. Somewhat happy. Music's really very good, mostly happy with that. Save backup system. Now I've got to say no feeling either way. I've done it when changing my phone contract, and I think that was about the only time, other than the Great Cat Tournament, which was more directly in contact with Ponos, so I don't think I can use that as a normal kind of example. So I'm gonna stay out of that debate, but I do wonder whether a more cloud internet-y based version of it would be safer. User support, again, I can't comment on that. I am am privileged to be able to have spoken to Ponos more directly than other people can, so I can't claim the user support's great when other people might not be as readily listened to. Which limited events do you wish happen more often in Battlecats? Rare ticket sales, I assume that's like buying them, so no, and if you're buying a single rare ticket capsule thing, don't. Not a great idea because you can never guarantee an Uber from it. First time discounts, I mean, they're great. Let's select that for now because 750 cat food rolls make it more accessible for a lot of people and cultivate quite a lot of interest in gacha rolls. I think they're a force for good. Not going to be buying items so much. Collab unit sales, well, we know what we've said about that, so certainly not. Half energy events, certainly for some of the more costly energy stages. I think the guaranteed draws happen roughly often enough. If it's any more often, it might lose its meaning and we'll just come to expect them to be guaranteed instead of waiting for it as an event. Platinum tickets, I'll get more for your enjoyment than my own, so I'm probably going to say 50% off special units because a lot of them really don't warrant the amount of cat food they cost, if only ever used for a couple of combos or just to have for the user rank. Speaking of user rank, what is your current one? It's just over 9,000, isn't it? Now, I've just been to check my equip menu for this next question, how many Uber Rare Cats have you unlocked? And the answer, as clickbait articles like to say, really has surprised me. It's actually that one. Which Uber Rare set is your favourite? Ooh, collab, 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 collab? Collab? They're not there. The Evangelion Ubers, of course. I guess it has to be seasonal again. Tropical Khalees is great, and then there's Springtime Kenshin. Ha, why do you like them? I'm actually finding it difficult to write why. Ah, which Legend Rare is your favourite? I guess I have to choose I don't know any Legend Rares, but I'm sorry, Ponos, I don't like the concept of Legend Rares. It is one rarity too far. They are so rare that it creates a sense of elitism as whether some levels are done or not. What would you most like to see the Battlecats in the future? There are a lot of true forms at the moment, and they'll just be gradually introduced, so I don't think there's any need to tap on that one. More collabs. Actually, I think we have collabs at a decent rate, as long as the ones that we're given are fleshed out perhaps a little bit better. Versus mode I know a lot of people are going to go for, and I might once I've read through these. New cat unit abilities, I think we've got absolutely loads of them already and don't need any more. Improved save system probably needs to go online, to be fair. I would say fully offline play, but then it doesn't really go with what I've selected so far. Higher stage clear bonuses. The thing with that is that definitely for where it says likely, and that's actually like a third chance and is not even remotely likely, because surely likely by definition means more likely than not, which means 51% or more. So I guess that, in that sense, more language options. I am lucky to speak English, so it's fine for me, but I'm sure others will be more than correct in choosing that option. I think there are plenty few special stages, so they're alright. This looks interesting. Character stats display. Now, I would definitely be for more information, like the sort of stats stuff that you get on the wiki, especially range information. We'll still have a place for the speaker for very in-depth stuff that Lucas can burrow away at and tell us if our strat's rubbish or not. But for stuff like this little table of ranges you find in the wiki, I think that would be great to have as a menu for the cat units. So definitely that. Legend stages, I assume at this stage that means Uncanny Legends, and there are plenty enough of them for me. Leaderboards and guilds and versus play results in me losing, and for me that's not fun. So not one of my priorities personally. What Battlecats merchandise would you buy if it became available? I remember answering these questions. It was, what was it, Regit's top strats? Probably just plushies. I like the look of the other things. I think art books might be really cool. Imagine you get together Battlecats artists, you know, all those art people you see on the Amino, all those art drawing people you see generously making thumbnails for these videos. Get them together to produce some art for you as well as your own, and have that in an art book. Very community focused, really shows that you support and value the work of your community. I think an art book from that point of view would be great. What type of character design would you like to see appear more? My eyes are drawn to pop culture parody, and then my mind is drawn to PPAP, so PPA perhaps not. I think the mythology ones are really quite interesting to learn about, so there's that. Anime and manga as well. I mean, I have to say that now that I love the Evangelion units, and we had in that Dear Ponos about the Evangelion collab suggested a few more units that could be added. I would be tempted to say sports almost, in the sense that I can imagine fitting into Battle Cats similarly to Picataro, the little bobbly head people from the little spin-off Formula 1 game F1 Race Stars. But that's just a bit of a wild card, and actually I'd rather answer other, recommend something that I contributed to a Battle Cats art competition and think would go well with mythology and actually putting in philosophical figures. The philosophers, titans of thought, and actually I really do think that would be a great Uber set, and I'm gonna keep pushing for that to exist. Aside from Battle Cats, what mobile games have you played in the last month? Definitely none of them. Not Minecraft on a mobile, certainly. Subway Surf earlier than a month ago. Pokemon Go, the same story with that one. Geometry Dash, same with that. A lot of these games I've seen Chawsey playing and enjoying. It's actually just gonna have to be Clash Royale, Boom, Beach. Which collaboration campaign have you most enjoyed? Right, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Gotcha. Who would you most like to have the Battle Cats collaborate with in the future? Now, I don't know if I said this one before, I might have, but actually I think something that would fit in with a Battle Cats art style and popular culture referencing really well was, and still would be, if they can manage to convince Netflix of that, smiley face. If you agree with me on that and think the Dear Ponos series does have good ideas in it, maybe you'd like to write that yourself. But I'm not asking you to, it's just an idea. I'd love to think that Ponos would be able to look at some of the ideas in there and think, yeah, that is a good idea, I'd like to add that. Pluralism. Ideas coming in from all sorts of different places, helping us all improve our games, our lives, and the world around us. And I hope that doesn't seem narcissistic in any way. I have made them in order to give Ponos what I think are good ideas, and I hope you agree with that. Click here to receive your cat food. If this wasn't Ponos, I mean, look how much of an absolute scam that looks like. If you just got an email that said, in these different coloured fonts, click here to receive your cat food. Hurrah! I had to go back to the menu and there we go. Thanks for your survey responses. Enjoy 50 cat food. Thank you for that. It has been successfully delivered and the survey has been successfully completed. Make sure if you have the time and inclination to spare to let Ponos know what you think so that they can build the game around what the community would like. And so I'll leave you on that. The survey was in depth and I enjoyed filling it out, but for now that will have to be it. I bid you goodbye and I hope you enjoyed.